Okay, and today's video is about the state of Maine and how a lot of the 18 to 34-year-old people seem to be embracing socialism. Yeah, here we go. Of course, if these young people, in my opinion, if they would only look at history, it's all they got to do is look at history. And as we all know, anytime socialism was ever tried, we've all heard the stories. Like, for example, when the Pilgrims first came over here to America, they came up with this idea at first after they got here and settled and started, building their homes and building communities and stuff. Well, the first thing that they decided to do was, and this is for example, this is a perfect example of socialism. They all get here, they all are trying to figure out how they're going to survive and all this other stuff, and time was used to do that. Then they figured out how to survive. Then, like I said, they started making their homes and communities and everything. And then someone comes up with this idea, well, why don't we build this like a silo, big old silo, and fill it right up with corn. And that way, everybody around that wants to come and get some corn so that they've got it to at least eat or do whatever they were going to do with it, let's fill this right up, and then it would be like a community thing full of corn, and everybody can come and help themselves to it. And make sure you take just enough for yourself to leave enough for other people to get their fair share of it. And, well, it didn't take any time for them to figure out that it wasn't going to work, because 99% of the time what they found out was this silo or whatever they were using to store this corn in, there was never any corn in it. No one could get anything from it, because when people thought, oh, all I got to do is go there and get some, they don't think about, well, who's going to put the corn in there? They think the way most humans do. What can I get for nothing? So every time they went to this building, all of a sudden there was no corn, because no one wanted to work and fill the thing up. All they wanted to do was just go there and get what they needed and then go home. And it didn't work. It totally, completely collapsed within no time. I mean, this idea, when it was first proposed, everybody listened to it. And this is exactly what socialism is. You'll get told, hey, guess what? You're going to get something for nothing. Somebody else is going to pay for it. Somebody else is going to, just provide for you. And you ain't going to do a thing. All you're going to do is wake up this morning, realize that you want or need something, and you're going to go and get it. And you're going to grab your portion of it, and you're going to bring it home. No effort, no nothing. Just go and get it and come home. That's all there is to it. Well, that's what happens. You quickly find out that if you want something, you got to go and get it. And if it means you got to go and work and earn it, then that's what it's got to be. And this is exactly what happened to these early settlers here in America. They found out that the socialist idea didn't work. So they had to come up with some other idea, and this was the idea that they came up with, and it made a lot of sense. What they decided was, well, okay, there's all kinds of land everywhere. How about somebody pick out the piece of land that you want, and you're going to squat on it. And you're going to be able to make your own garden and grow your own vegetables. You can get cows and bulls and whatever you want to provide any meat that you might need, and milk from your cows and all of that other stuff. You're going to have your land, and you can take care of yourself and do things that you need for you and your family. And guess what? guess what? The idea worked. And look at America today. The country was built on this same idea. You can't go through life thinking that the world's going to hand you everything that you need through your entire life. It's just not going to happen. It's not, you know. I know for some people it does work out that way, or at least it seems to. And, well, I feel a lot better. Like this morning, right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm on my way to work. I'll be there in about an hour, and then I've got a job to do all day long. I will take a lunch break, and when the day is over, I'm going to be tired. My back is going to hurt a little bit. My legs are going to hurt a little bit. But at least I know I did something today that was productive, and I used my time productively. When you have socialism and you can just sit around and have people hand you something, think about that. Think about that concept. Now, there are some of us here in society, and I'm as guilty as anyone. I'm not the most ambitious person. I mean, anybody that knows me knows I've never been physically ambitious. I will do what I've got to do, but I'm far from being an overachiever. Far from being an overachiever. But one thing I've learned in life is you have got to do some things. You've got to. And would it be nice to be able to sit back and have something just given to you? It would be nice. I mean, who wouldn't like that? But as with anything, there's always a cost. And I know, like, for example, if you get laid off and there's no jobs available for you to do, you have to get on to unemployment. How many people really enjoy unemployment? Really? I mean, I'm sure there's some out there, I'm sure. But I know there was one time I got laid off, and I think I was laid off for 3 months. 3 months. And there was no job opportunities anywhere. Dead middle of winter. And at first, it was like, hey, you know, I'm going to be able to stay home, and, you know, it looks like I'm going to have to go on unemployment, and they can give me some money enough to get me by with, and I'm telling you, about a week of it, 1 week, it may have been tolerable, but when I got into my second week, I didn't like it. I did not like it. And I kept looking in the, you know, jobs wanted section, you know, help wanted sections, and the papers and online and everything. And I mean, there was just nothing here. There was nothing. And this went on for 3 months. 3 months. I couldn't stand it. I thought it was something that I was going to easily adapt into. And what was hard about it was I felt like I'm not, you know, producing anything. I'm not doing anything constructive with my time. You know, I need to do something besides, you know, what I'm doing. I got to do something different. And I know right now that I could not take that much time off from work. A little bit of time, you know, if you want to take a day, enjoy your weekends or something like that, that's fine. But Monday through Friday, I like working. I like it. And I like the job that I got too. I like it. It's a good job. I can't complain. The people I work for are good people. I work with good people. I mean, geez, I've got a megabucks jackpot. Megabucks jackpot. I mean, excuse me. And it's fulfilling. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it makes me happy. It keeps me happy and content. And that's what it's all about. You're never going to find that with socialism. You'll never find it with socialism, no matter what you do. No matter what you do. Well, I tell you, there isn't really much in the news today to talk about. That's why I decided to talk about this socialism thing. And that what's quite shocking is the state of Maine. A lot of the young people are embracing this idea of socialism. And that's what they're in love with. That's what they like. They like hearing, hey, all I got to do is wake up and want something and need something, and it's going to be provided by someone else. I don't have to do any input. I don't have to do anything other than just reach out, grab it, and take it. And young people, I remember when I was young, if that had been proposed to me, I would have eaten it up like a kid eating candy too. I would have. But I hope if you're young, you're 18 to 34, and you're listening to what I'm saying, really think about the point that I'm making. When you got people handing you stuff, that ain't the way to live, and that's not even anything that you would want. You feel a lot better as a human being if you get up every morning and go to work, and you haven't got to grab a pickaxe and go dig holes all day long either. That's not what I'm saying. Find something that you enjoy doing if you can, and just do it. Make your everyday based right around it. And then you can take your weekends and get away from it for a while, but then go right back to it Monday morning. And believe me, it's so much more fulfilling and self-gratifying. Socialism ain't going to do it for you. It's not. Socialism is nothing but in my opinion, it's nothing but a fraud. It's a total and complete fraud, the whole thing. They make you think it's something so great when it's not. Now, on the flip side of the coin, I will say that there are some levels of socialism that, all right, for example, they call it socialism, Social Security. Now, on this one thing, if it is indeed what they define as socialism, because it's Social Security, I think it's a good idea. I think Franklin Roosevelt was right to put this into place and have it. The abuse that they should have thought of that would happen in the future, they should have taken that into consideration and maybe put things in back then that could have prevented a lot of the abuse that happens today. But its overall principle and idea, I think that is a good idea. So a certain level of socialism, I think, can be tolerated, I guess, in our society, because I think Social Security is a good idea. And I'm sure that there are other situations similar to this that would be defined as socialism. And like I said, a certain level of it can be tolerable, but when you want your entire society to be like it, that's when I'm simply saying you got to draw the line. You can't because everybody's like that. So okay, that's the end of this video for today. I want to thank you for sticking around. I'm sorry it wasn't a real exciting video. There wasn't a whole lot in the news today. There really wasn't. Oh, there was a few things. That Troy Jackson, this one's kind of interesting, but here we go with the left-wingers. This is really something. All right, let's go all the way back to Justice Kavanaugh. And he was being accused of doing something to a woman back in college or high school or whenever it was. And these women that were saying this and that. And at the time, of course, because Kavanaugh was appointed by, I believe, Donald Trump, because the Trump factor, they had to go after this guy and chew him up and spit him out like he was bubble gum. And this one particular woman, Balsey Ford, I think her name was. I can't remember her first name. But she comes forward and says, yeah, I was at a college party, so was he. He pushed me into a room. He tried to have his way with me. I said no, but he forced himself on me. And it never got proven. And if anything, it got disproven. But because this woman came forward, she says, well, I should say that the mainstream media and all of the left-wingers started saying, a woman must be heard. And the next thing you know, the MeToo movement was born. And women have to be heard. They have to be heard. You have to listen to them. quite a long time, and Kavanaugh wound up getting appointed to be a justice on the Supreme Court. It didn't stop, and it didn't stop him, and he was able to be appointed. So then you fast forward to Graham Platinum. He was running against Sue Collins. Next thing you know, he's got women coming out of the woodwork and saying, he slapped my ass. And what do you know? These very same people that started the MeToo movement saying women need to be heard, all of a sudden, these women are lying. They're not telling the truth. Graham Platinum's a great, wonderful human being. These same left-wingers that had just got done a few years ago, women must be heard. Now, because it was one of their own, no, we can't listen to her. No go. No. Well, now this Troy Jackson, right? Apparently, information came out and a police report was found, and it was back when Troy Jackson was 19 years old. Now, his side of the story is he got in a fight with a guy, and he hit the guy. It was a typical two men got in a fight. They hit each other, whatever. Charges were brought against, I guess, Troy Jackson. Assault charges, probably. And he paid a $50 fine, and that was it. It was over with, as far as Troy Jackson was concerned. But for some reason, in this police report, it's also mentioned that the woman that Troy Jackson has been with all of these years, he was with her back then, and from what I've been told, she's his second cousin. Yeah. And back then, she said to the police officer that was investigating this Troy Jackson assault situation, she said to this police officer, well, Troy pushed me around, and I'm his partner. And it's written in the report that she made this statement. But fast forward to now, and this police report has come out into the news media, and Jackson admits that he got in a fight with a guy, and he hit him, and then wound up having to go to court, paid a $50 fine, and he takes full responsibility of it. But he never laid a hand on his girlfriend. He never touched her. He didn't. And she's now saying that she not only doesn't remember saying that to the police officer, but she flat out says that's false. In other words, I guess she's implying that back then the police officer had to have lied. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but we got to see how this all pans out. But it's just more scandal for Troy Jackson. And other than that, that's about all I've seen or heard today that had any interest in the news. Everything else has, it's happening, but there isn't anything that's gripping and ground shaking. So this is all I could think about to say, to have some content this morning. So thank you for staying this long and listening. What am I, 19? That ain't bad, 19, 20 minutes. That's all right. So anyways, thank you for sticking around. Don't forget to like, to share, subscribe. Definitely put your comments down there. I want to hear what you have to say. I've been starting to get a few more comments, and this is very, very uplifting. I like it when you guys out there, tell me you agree or you disagree. I don't care. I just like hearing from you, and I like knowing that you're watching. I enjoy it. This is great. I have a fun time doing this. I enjoy sharing my opinion. I want to hear yours too. Well, all right, you guys have a great, wonderful Thursday, August the 13th, 2026. I hope you have a great day. Looks like we're going to have a great day too. Okay, we'll catch you in the next video tomorrow. We be gone.